Hello, my name's Ken Daniel. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering specializing in combustion chemistry, optics, and radiation. I'm retired now, but I spent the first 10 years of my career at the General Electric Research and Development Center. At that time, the staff consisted of 800 PhDs and one Nobel Prize winner. While I was there, I worked primarily on coal gasification, a topic which not too many people are interested in nowadays. I spent the remainder of my career in management positions. Now, even though it's been a long time since I've worked in the sciences, I still have a good appreciation for the mindset of a scientist. It has a basic tenet that everything can be explained by physics, chemistry, and evolutionary biology. Underlying the worldview is an assumption that everything follows a cause and effect relationship. This relationship can be measured and quantified. Everything is governed by this relationship. Nothing else is needed. Any claim of God or a spirit creating an effect without a measurable cause is automatically discounted along with the person that claimed it. The spirit world simply does not exist. But what if there were a credible scientist that had observed something that didn't follow the cause and effect relationship? Jane Goodall is a world-class anthropologist. She's famous for her study of the social interactions of chimpanzees. In her book, Reasons for Hope, A Spiritual Journey, she tells of an incident that occurred when her second husband died. We are ill-equipped by Western education for the task of convincing unbelievers the reality of the spirit. Science demands objective, factual evidence. Spiritual experience is subjective and leads to faith. It is enough for me that my faith gives me an inner peace and brings me meaning to my own life. Yet I do want to share my experiences with those who want to hear. So let me relate two more incidents, both of which occurred on the night of Derek's death. Both incidents involved children, my own son Grub, who was in England at the time, and Lulu, a little girl who lived in Dar es Salaam. At the time of Derek's illness, Grub was 13 and was a boarder at a preparatory school near Bournemouth. He didn't know that Derek was close to death. Well, the night that Derek was dying, Grub was awakened from his sleep by a vivid dream. In his dream, Ollie, who was Jane's aunt, arrived at the school and spoke to him. "Grub, I have something very sad to tell you. Derek died last night." He went to sleep again, but once more was awakened by the dream, and Ollie again repeated her message. When it happened a third time, he became distressed and could not sleep. He actually went to the school matron to tell her he was having terrible nightmares. In the morning, Ollie arrived at the school. Ollie took Grub outside into the garden and told him she had some very sad news. "I know," he said. "Derek is dead, isn't he?" Ollie was stunned until he told his dream. Lulu, the same age as Grub at the time, suffered from Down syndrome. Derek and I had been great friends of her parents and visited their house frequently. Indeed, when I first went back to Dar es Salaam after Derek's death, I stayed with them. Derek was good with children, and Lulu loved him. The night he died, sometime in the small hours, she woke up and she ran along to where Mary, her Manny, was sleeping. "Mary," she said urgently, "please wake up. That man has come and he likes me. He is smiling." Mary, half roused, told Lulu she had been dreaming and to go back to bed. But Lulu persisted. "Please come, Mary. I want to show you. He is smiling." In the end, Mary sat up and sighed. "Lulu, tell me who you mean. Who is this man that is smiling at you?" "I don't remember his name," said Lulu, "but he comes with Jane, and he walks with a stick, and he likes me. He really likes me." Jane continues. Two children in two parts of the world. Two children whom Derek has loved. It's so easy in a skeptical, reductionist scientific world to explain away these sorts of things as coincidental dreams or hallucinations. But I've never been able to discount such experiences so easily. There have been too many events in my life and in the lives of my friends which have defied any kind of scientific explanation. Science does not have the appropriate tools for the dissection of the spirit. So there you have the words of Jane Goodall. If you are fixed in a universal cause and effect dogma, you immediately discount her words. If you are an open-minded person, you consider her words and question your assumptions. There is potentially something outside of science. So what do you do with that information? Scientists are typically curious about things they can't explain. Let's look at another world-famous scientist. His name is Francis Collins. He holds a PhD in physical chemistry from Yale and a Doctor of Medicine from UNC. Dr. Collins is known for the discovery of genetic causes of several diseases and also was the leader of the Human Genome Project. This was one of the first studies to completely map the human genome. He is currently the head of the National Institute of Health. Dr. Collins grew up with no religious influences in his life. He was an atheist until he was in the third year of medical school. After seeing the faith in many of his patients, he decided to seriously consider the evidence for and against religion. He wrote a book about his quest. His goal in writing the book was to provide an intellectually honest discussion of the integration of science and faith. In the book, he takes a highly critical look at the arguments of popular atheists against faith. He also addresses misconceptions many believers have about evolution. His view is that there is a spiritual world separate from nature. Since science is only concerned about the natural world, science has nothing to say about a separate spiritual world. He and a large number of biologists are theistic evolutionists. These are people who harmonize evolutionary thought with a belief in God. In no way does evolution disprove the existence of God. In his words, the claim that science demands atheism is that it goes against the evidence. If God is outside of nature, then science can neither prove nor disprove his existence. Atheism itself must therefore be considered a form of blind faith, in that it adopts a belief system that cannot be defended on the basis of pure reason. So there you have it. Two scientists with excellent credentials that are willing to publicly state, based on their experiences and analysis, that there is a spiritual world outside of science. So what will you do with this information? Open-minded and look for answers, or the opposite?